All right. Welcome everyone to the Koochiching County Board of Commissioners regular meeting for Tuesday, September 10th, 2024. Would you help me open with the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. First item under county business is to approve a proposed agenda with additions and or deletions. We have one addition, which will be under human resource. It will be item 4B. It's a notice of resignation and request to fill vacancy. And there are no other deletions or additions. So with that addition, Chair would accept a motion to approve as presented with the addition.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach. Any discussion on the agenda? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Next up is to approve minutes from the August 20th, 2024 regular meeting.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach.
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner McIntyre. Any discussion on the minutes? All we're good. Hearing no discussion, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Next up is financial business. Chair would accept the motion on items A, B, C, and D to start, which is approve August summarized payment listing, approve August payroll and ACH vendor payments, approve courthouse claims, and approve highway claims.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner McIntyre.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach. Any discussion on the claims? Questions? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Next up is to ratify Public Health and Human Services August claims. Those get sent to us via mail, and so we already have them. We're just ratifying from the claim packet.
Make the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach. Any discussion on the Health and Human Services claims? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Our next item is to approve the warrant void. That's for $100. Lead us through. It's just a lost void through lands and forest.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill.
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner McIntyre. Any discussion on the void? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Next up is to consider approval of the levy requests. I'll read these off here quickly. And this consideration to approve and certify to the county auditor the 2025 County Fire District levy requests. First one is Fire District number 1 North Home is an increase of $575. Fire District 2 around Little Fork is a $112 increase. Fire District 2 in Lowman is a no increase. Fire District 3 Birchdale is no increase. District 4 Badette, no increase. Fire District 5 Big Falls is a $100 increase. The next up is to consider approval of the 2025 County Taxing District levy requests. This is different than the fire Little Park Ambulance at no increase, North Home First Responders at $1,000 increase, Rainy River First Responders at $600 increase, Housing and Redevelopment a $5,000 increase, Little Park Medical Center, there is no taxing district that expired a couple years ago. So this is that is a consideration for approval today is as presented. Really quite reasonable.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Howell.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach. Any discussion? Well, thanks all the work on these groups here that these groups do too, so certainly is appreciated. Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Next up is to approve payment of airport appropriation. And this is annual. Do we do it first and second or just once?
I think historically we've done it first and second, but when we didn't have an appropriation in 23. So when me and Margaret came on, we've been looking at what's been done in 23, so we kind of missed it this time. So we're just paying it out all at once.
Okay.
So we missed the first
February.
appropriation. So
Okay.
moving forward, we'll do it half at the beginning, half at the middle of the year.
Okay, sounds good. So normal expenditure, just usually first and second is how that works. There'll just be one payment of $267,966 for consideration here.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach.
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Howell. Any discussion on the appropriation? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. This time we are at Human Resources. Hi, Brian.
Greetings, Commissioners.
Morning. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, good.
Good. All right, so I bring 4A for the notion of promotion for a family-based service provider, Alana Werner, to social worker position. She's coming off of an education leave and taking that position. We have internally posted the temporary position to a full-time position and expect internal backlog into that. And then, as we had talked in previous meetings, we're going to fill backlog as needed. So we're accepting her promotion starting September 30th.
So that this will include internal postings, but not external yet, or like say out
It's
to
not external until tomorrow.
Okay.
So it's been internally posted to the merit system.
Okay, so then this would include going out publicly if
Yep,
needed?
if we need to. We already have 2 candidates internally that are interested in the position, so most likely it won't go externally unless we find someone that's
Okay,
really
so-
qualified. So
This is just a notice of promotion.
Yeah.
You guys
Okay.
already approved the filling and the
Right.
backfilling of any
Oh, okay.
positions.
Okay. Just to speed it up, correct?
Yep.
Okay, sounds good. Right. Wishes of the board?
I'll make the motion.
It's just a notice. So we don't need
Oh, we don't need a notice, okay. Just notice, sorry about that. Well, then congratulations, sir, and thank you.
All deserved. All right, and then move to the
Addition?
addition of 4B, so the approval of employment separation of Tracy Harmony from the assessor's position, effective September 20th, and to approve a backfilling of the position. Tracy's been here for about 10 years. So I'll let Len speak to anything that you would like to say.
Her position is AMA, which is an accredited Minnesota assessor. And all of the levels, you're licensed different levels by the Department of Revenue. And so the position, when it opens up, will be assessor trainee. And so that's the first level with the state of Minnesota. There's a license for that. From there, after hours of education, they become a CMA, Certified Minnesota Assessor. After that, there's another level, CMAIQ, which is Certified Minnesota Assessor, Income Qualified. That requires more hours and more time in grade. I think it's almost 3 years to become a CMA. The state of Minnesota a few years ago mandated that you can no longer stay at a CMA, which for years all of us, including myself, did at one time. And so now within 5 years you have to become an AMA. You don't do that, you're done. And that's another level. And that requires a lot of education, it requires a license, it requires a form report, it requires an exam. That AMA exam, I took the AMA exam and I took the SAMA exam, which I'm licensed now. Both of those exams are 8 hours long. It's just incredible what you have to do to get those licenses today. And so anyway, that person that starts will start down as a trainee, and then CMA, CMA IQ, and in 5 years they have to be AMA on that. So a lot of education there. So that's what that position will be. I know, in case the question comes up, it wasn't long ago I was sitting here saying, well, hey, if we go to the mobile, I wish this were a year from now, okay? Because right now I can't. We don't have the mobile. We haven't experienced the mobile. We can't currently, without that mobile, throw this workload on the other two people. They just can't handle that at this point. Yeah, I wish this would have come like a year from now. We would have had the experience to see how all that goes and everything, and then make that decision. But right now, it's just not physically possible to take what Tracy does, being an AMA, and just sort of dump it on the other two people. Like I said, I wish this was like a year down the road and we had that experience. It might be a different story, but it is what it is.
But it's not, so potentially in a year from now, when you're looking at downsizing, it's gonna complicate things, right?
Well, it might and it might not. I mean, we're stuck with what we have. You know, there's nothing we can do about it. The sense is that mobile will reduce work hours. That's the purpose of it. To what extent it does that, I don't know. You know, I assume it's going to. We have a county, unlike a lot of other counties, where we have a lot of driving time. You know, the county is so big and all that kind of stuff. It's a question I honestly can't answer until I know what it does. I also know the last time they were going to go to mobile, everybody was on board, and for whatever reasons it fell through and it never happened. So that's a possibility, because it's not even scheduled to be, you know, until 2025. 2025, and I don't know when in 2025. So, you know, I don't want to say we're stuck with what we have, but right now we have the need for 3. There's no question about that. So, I don't know if that answers your
Are
question.
other counties doing mobile, or is this something?
It's no. There's only one county that's mobile, that's St. Louis County. But they've always do their own thing. They don't need all the other counties involved because they're so big. But right now, all the other counties, you've approved mobile. Aiken County approved mobile. There's 3 others that are in the making. Justin, do you have an idea about how many?
I don't know an exact count, but I know, I would want to say,
It's got to be 4, 5, 6,
I
or
was going to say 5 or 6.
Yeah, at least.
That sounded like they were interested in the mobile
Yeah.
assessor as well. And there are a few that are also scheduled for 2025, and then also going into 2026 and 2027. They plan to onboard more counties onto the mobile assessor solution. So we are one of the early adopters of that.
Right. Anything else? Well, thanks to Tracy for all her service in that position too. Going up to people's properties, and I know it's a somewhat of a different type of job too. You know, you have to be good with the public, and you know, expect people to understand why you're there and all that. So appreciate all her hard work too. So any questions for Len or Brian? right, I will, wishes of the board.
Make the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach.
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Nell. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Thank you. Next item is...
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is authorize signatures to management representation letter. This is for our auditors. This is, I think, something that we were supposed to be doing, and I think we need to have this on file. Correct? But they are our auditors and acceptable.
Every year, the auditors send us this for management to sign, basically saying we've agreed to all the terms in the letter and we've shared all the information in good faith and et cetera, for their audit.
Yep.
As part of the process, so. They are planning to come present to the board the second meeting in October, the audit results, so I think they're pretty much done with our audit. I haven't seen it yet, but.
Sounds good. So this is not an engagement letter, this is just an acknowledgement letter that we followed the rules and cooperated with the auditors, which is a requirement too. I accept the motion to accept the authorization of the signatures of board chair and administration director.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner McIntyre.
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Hall. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Next up, we have a couple of change orders to consider. You want to come up, Justin?
Yeah.
Please. Thank you.
Morning, everybody.
Morning. I'll kind of prelude this here. With this project and stuff that's been going on, this is always to be expected. There's always going to be little issues here and there, changes along the way, unexpected occurrences. So this has kind of been vetted through the POC. Justin's team at ICS have kind of looked at all this too pretty in depth and took it to the appropriate areas to take a closer look at it even. So, and I think we've come to a consensus, at least at the POC, that this is a this is a need that we need to follow through with and to move forward and get things done. So, but please go ahead.
Yeah, if you recall, we had that approval matrix that we approved at the board level. So anything over $50,000 comes to the board for approval. So on the agenda, you'll see two change orders. The first one is PR6 for Hanson Electric for a grand total of $70,349. What that change is, I think if you recall, I think I mentioned when we go to plan review, code is not black and white; it's interpreted differently. This is very, very common, but the plan reviewer, the state plan reviewer, had a different idea or interpreted code differently than the design team. And that's flat out what happened. So really, with the PR6 addresses, originally the building, like the addition, was considered two separate buildings because we have a 2-hour firewall separating them. The design team figured we have to classify that building as two separate buildings. And through plan review, the plan reviewer said no, that is one building. So what that means is we had two choices: either sprinkle the entire existing building, or do a series of fire smoke dampers in the existing system. And you can see here, there's actually 18 fire smoke detectors. That's the installation and wiring, hooking them up, going back to the fire alarm system, everything. Myself and CMTA have vetted this. It's in line. It's a lot of work, and that's where we're at. $70,449 for Hanson Electric. Yeah.
Cheaper than sprinkler.
Way cheaper. And the unknowns that we've encountered trying to do that.
Is this going to add on to the end with the electronics and things like that, or are we kind of ready for all that? Or is this including that?
This is including that.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
For the fire alarm smoke, duct smoke sensors, yeah. Any questions on that, on the Hanson Electric one? Should I go right into the Wagner one? Or do you want?
We need to do a separate motion.
We'll do separate motions,
Okay.
but go ahead. If everybody's comfortable, we can get into Wagner's too.
Yep, so Wagner's change order, I got that here.
Take out that whole foundation out there.
Yep, that's exactly what it's for. So basically, 86 cubic yards of fill. So that was the old foundation that was encountered, and it had to be removed, and we had to bring in new fill. And how we handle this, we issued a field work order, and Brian, our on-site soup, worked with them daily and track the hours, the time, the material, and went very well. If you remember, in our bid form, we requested unit pricing, so material in, material out, and based on the amount of material, so we decided to do the field work order in lieu of using those unit prices. So we got what we paid for, we didn't use the unit price. If we would have used the unit prices, it would have been about $10,000 more. They wanted to work with us. Wagner's very good to work with, and we tracked it, and it ended up being like what was it, $68,822, and that's an extremely fair number for the work that they did.
And that footing foundation was from the previous building.
Correct.
Which
Correct.
was, we figured was a swimming pool down there or
Yep.
something, of the old Falls High School, right? So,
We did the soil investigation. We missed it by just a couple feet too. We didn't know it was there too. That's the disappointing thing about it. But
right.
still would have to pay the money.
Well, yeah, if
We'd
it
have
was
to
there or
remove-
not,
have to remove it.
yeah, you'd have had to plan for it is all, would have been different. so.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, we had kind of knew that there was a building here underneath all this stuff, and we weren't quite sure exactly what happened when they tore that down. So obviously TrueStar got into it and found, I'm sure, some things there too, but we weren't quite sure over here.
Yeah, right.
So we got in it, but really appreciate them stepping up and working with us to get that change over done too. So, all right, anything else for
No, not at this time.
Brady?
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Any questions or anything?
Going good otherwise?
Yeah, it actually is going quite well. We're scheduled for precast on the 23rd. The first delivery of precast. They actually just started casting wall panels in Chicago today, and yeah, well, footings are about there. We'll be ready by the 23rd to go really vertical. If you go there now, you'll see the below grade masonry, the CMU, that's coming along nicely. So
Had nice weather for it.
it's been really good finally. Not too rainy as of late. So yeah, it's been good. I'm pretty happy with the progress we're making. Just actually right on schedule. It's nice for a change.
Keep
Well,
that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, let's
It'll change.
keep doing
Yeah.
that. So, well, good work, good job. So
Yeah,
thank
thank
you.
you.
Thanks.
sir. All right, first up then would be consider approval of the Hanson change order in the amount of $70,349 as presented from Justin here and on our RBA. And I will turn that over to the board.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner McIntyre.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And motion carries. Thank you. Next up is to consider approval of the Wagner change order in the amount of $68,822.95.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill.
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner McIntyre. Any discussion on the change order for Wagner? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And the motion carries. All right. Well, thank you, guys. Thank you, Justin.
Thanks.
you. All right, next up is consider Little Fork ambulance loan agreement. And come on up, whoever wants to. Fill the chairs, wherever you can find a spot. You drew the short straw.
Yeah.
Well, you got support on the sidelines, so.
We won't throw nothing at you.
That's good. So I had a funeral at the last meeting, so I don't know how you guys are with this, because I had to have Tom come.
Yep. So we're kind of looking at purchasing an ambulance for, and you're looking for about $130,000 over an 8-year return
Yeah.
on the deal there, and that would be starting August 1st of next year in the amount of $17,000 and concluding in every year thereafter on August 1st until 2032. and that last payment would be a little bit less than the 17,000. So, and I think we've had some discussions here, a couple of different times, looking at some type of a matrix to see what has been done in the past for certain different areas, and I guess I'm up for discussion. So maybe explain a little bit what's going on and.
Well, it started, basically we got a grant for $202,000 or whatever, and the one ambulance that will be sold now, we make the $17,000 payment every year toward that, and that'll basically allow us to pay off the balance of that ambulance and sell it and put out all of this toward the new ambulance, and we have and keep our savings up for the next time that we have to replace the ambulance, because the other one has 120,000 miles on it now, or so, which our savings will stay around 65,000 right now. I think we put about 20,000 into a year, and it doesn't have, and then we don't have to change the amount of money in the budget or whatever, because it keeps the 17,000 will just basically be redirected to pay off the loan from you guys if we were to approve it. I think that covers all of it. Do you have any other questions for me?
Nope.
Questions or anyone? Have we discovered an area where we'd be able to do this here, Adam?
Well, it's in the preliminary 2025 budget.
It is in there?
So, whether it's reserve spend or, we've yet to have that discussion, but.
Oh, well, yeah, and this would be a budget item out, and then it'd be a budget item in for the next, 8 years or whatever it is here, so. With that, I guess I'd turn it over to the board.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Howell.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach. Any further discussion?
What a good deal for you guys getting your order in.
Yeah, actually, that same kind of thing went to every ambulance in the area, different, and actually we kind of owe that to Tom being quick on that, because all of a sudden everyone's looking for an ambulance, so if we had waited any longer, it's a multiple year wait.
Yep. I think we had some discussion on this being kind of carried in 2025, if that's possible, for the first payment of that. Is that still kind of were we able to kind of do that?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. I know there are going to be some discussion and everything's okay going that route.
I spoke with Mark at Premier Services and he said that's just fine.
Oh, okay. All right. Excellent. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? We have a first and a second. If there's no other discussion, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Thank you, guys. Next up is to consider appointing 2 commissioners to a space committee. We have, with some of the changes going on here and some of the needs that we have within the existing building, we're going to have to kind of study and get creative with space to accommodate everybody here too. So there's...
Pick you two.
Well, let me go over your turn. With the new construction next door here, the sheriff's office obviously will be moving over to the new building, and that will leave the other building available and open for, whatever. So there's some needs that we have within the deal here. I think we're going to try to get those needs listed and vet those needs for every department and for every entity that we have in the building here, and kind of see how we can fill that space and what we can do with it. So it is, to my understanding, will need to be decommissioned to a certain extent. What that entails, I think we'll get into all of that with this here space study as well. So we'll get into all that and kind of see what the needs are and what we need to do to make it available for use, and then see who needs to do what. And maybe we can get some entities back in the building. Maybe we can fill them up with some of the entities that are already in the building. I know there's some space needs that are all around that we've all heard of in the last year or so or whatever, and so I think we can do some good stuff there, and with a little facelift or whatever, we might be able to use a good portion of that building. So, but anyway, so I would consider Commissioner McIntyre and myself to the Space Committee. Mr. Roach, I know he's all for that, so I will consider that as a motion by Commissioner Roach.
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Now. He wants to move quickly today. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? And motion carries. Next up, we have information system business. Justin, how you doing?
Good. Morning, Commissioners.
And we are part of something here on this one, right?
Yes. So we get our integrated financial systems, IFSpot and CashSure, through MSCCC. We get them from Tryman, and because that is a joint power committee, we have to ratify the decision to go with Tryman for support for their products. No cost to the county. The cost is already included in the budget for what we pay to MSys and what we pay to MNCCC for those tools. So this is just ratifying the agreement for support from Tryman through MNCCC.
Okay, so this has already been taken care of and all good to go along with
Yep,
all these
so-
other counties?
So it'll all be in the budget. Other counties are doing the same thing that we're doing today to ratify the decision as well.
Okay. And then the amount and stuff you said was already budgeted and?
That's correct.
Already good to go. Okay,
Yep,
we've been a
yep.
part of this before?
That's correct, yep. The previous agreement will expire at the end of the year. It was a 3-year agreement, and I believe we had one even before that as well.
Okay, so this is another continuing 3-year?
Yep.
Okay. And then the increases, I noticed, is this every year that these increases will be here? This 12% for us, when you look at
Hourly rate.
12.5% increase, is that just overall?
I think that's overall for the term of the 3 years.
Okay, okay. All right. And can you kind of go over what exactly this covers, I guess, just to give us a little more information?
So it's pretty much any kind of support for those two tools, IFS and CashDrawer.
Okay.
So whether that's users need access or need help generating certain reports or numbers aren't lining up correctly, we can reach out for the support from Tryman or the vendors for the product.
So this is internal and external use? Public use and
I don't think it would be public use unless they would have a problem with how they were charged for something or something like that, but it would be mainly for us here at the county.
okay. And it takes care of the billing at the window there and everything like that too?
Mhm.
Okay, all right. Is this what all the offices would use in?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
all right.
CashSure and IFS are our financial systems.
Okay, all right. All right. Anybody got any questions on this? I had a few, but I just wasn't 100% sure what all that was and what it did. Now when you mentioned the cash drawer though, then it kind of clicked a little bit, so. But, wishes of the board.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner McIntyre.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Thank you, Justin.
Thanks, Jason.
You got them signed, okay.
What's the date today? 10th today? Right. Thank you. Thank you. All right, next up is Veteran Service Business. And we have come on up.
Good morning.
Morning. How are you doing?
How are you guys?
Good, good. And you have a donation, a couple of donations here. If you wouldn't mind going over those.
Unfortunately, I don't have a list of them. I was asked this morning to be here in place of Marissa.
Oh, okay,
And I'm
yeah.
not sure what she presented as far as the donations. Let me just see. Okay.
Well, looks like you have here.
Yes, a $3,000 donation from the FW Post 2948.
Yes.
That is to be used towards the County Veterans Transportation Program. And they provide us with funds on a regular basis for that program to help fund it. so. Do you have any questions on that one? Okay.
Or just, what are they, how do they're raising it? Is it through fundraising, donations, from members?
I
or-
believe those come, I'm honestly not sure if it comes from post funds or gambling funds on that side.
Okay.
But they continually fund. They used to run the program, and when the County Veteran Service Office took it over, they promised to continue to help us fund it, so.
It's a nice looking van.
Yes, very nice.
Awesome.
There's a lot of compliments on it. Veterans really like it, so.
And the next donations,
It looks like from June 2024 through August of 2024, we received a $300 donation from VFW Post 2948, $100 from VFW Post 9641, and a $67 donation. It was just a personal donation. Also to be used, these are to be used towards the Koochiching Warrior Initiative Veterans Lodge. For those of you that don't know, Koochiching Warrior Initiative is a rural veteran suicide prevention program that we have a steering committee that runs that. So any donations are appreciated to help fund that.
the Veterans Lodge is going well, and
It is, yep.
really nice area up there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
We have pretty regular attendance from veterans up there now.
Cool.
So,
That's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's an awesome program, and the Warrior Initiative is as well. So, and that, is that a continuing grant?
it is. Well, the grant that we were receiving from Together with Veterans, which is a VA program that stopped in April. However, we still have the funds. We have around $60,000 from those grant funds to be used towards future projects, so, including the Veterans Lodge.
Awesome. That's good. Really nice. So.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you for presenting those, and I would accept the motion to accept the donations.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill.
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach. Any discussion? Well, very nice thank you to all the donation.
Yes,
and,
thank you.
And the recipients and stuff. I know goes towards great cause.
It does.
Hearing no other discussion, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. And next up is some travel to and from Westminster, Colorado, for yourself, Nikki Gagnac and Carissa, to attend the annual Together with Veterans 2024 Summit, October 25th through 26th. And that is in support of the local Warrior Initiative.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
That's correct. We've been attending each year since 2021.
Okay. And then just a quick question, is the office hours kind of adjusted for you being gone and things like
They
that?
are.
or-
It actually falls over a weekend. We would be leaving on a Thursday, returning on a Sunday. Our office normally is closed to the public on Friday, so we'd only require one day of closure, which would be Thursday, when we would post that to make sure everybody's aware.
I think that's the only question that we thought of or whatever here, Joe, so we just decided to ask that, so, but anyway, and this is an annual event?
It
as well?
is.
Okay.
Yep, we have 3 steering committee members attending as well, so there'll be a total of 6 of us going.
Oh, nice.
Yep,
Good representation.
it is. We are the only cohort in Minnesota that represents Minnesota, so it's nice to have that
Okay.
representation.
Right.
Yeah.
Great. And this is obviously budgeted annually?
It's budgeted and actually reimbursed by TWV, the
Okay.
program, the VA program that runs the summit.
Okay.
So we pay the upfront costs to attend the summit, and then they reimburse all costs, which are funneled back into the county, so.
Great. Any questions? Brady? Great. Wishes of the board.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner McIntyre.
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Any discussion? Can we go?
If you want to join the committee, you can be there.
We were thinking it looks like a pretty nice trip, so
Yep.
appreciate
Yes.
that.
Other than going through DIA, that's always a pain.
Oh,
That
yes.
airport there is
Oh.
not fun to go through.
No.
If there's no other discussion, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. And next up, we have a resolution to accept the CDSO competitive grant for the fiscal year 2025. And I think we kind of just went through this here just our last meeting about getting the application and stuff in there, and would this be the award?
We have not been awarded yet.
Oh, okay.
So in order to apply, the application had to be submitted by August 30th.
Yep.
We requested an amount of $26,500 for the competitive grant to help support the KWI initiative. And that's essentially 1 year of operating expenses to continue the program as it's running right now.
Okay.
And it's my understanding that Commissioner Schobel's signature was required to get that application submitted initially.
Yep.
However, now they're requiring a resolution from the board to accept the application fully. So it hasn't been awarded yet. It's still in the application process and review process.
Yeah, just for your information, we would be ratifying a signature for myself and Carissa, and then evidently they're looking for some more support. So, and that was probably a week or so ago, I guess, somewhere in there. So it got in time and everything. It was signed and stuff by myself and by Carissa. So anyway, this is just furthering that cause for this grant. So I would accept the motion to adopt a resolution accepting the CDSO competitive grant.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach.
Go ahead. I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner McIntyre. Any discussion? What's the timeline for that? Do you know offhand?
I don't know the approval period. This is the first time we applied, so I guess we'll see what happens. They open up application a couple times a year. We just found out about it in the spring when Carissa went to the County Veteran Service Office conference that she does each year. So hopefully it all works out.
Yep, I hope so. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Right, if there's no other discussion, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? And motion carries. Thank you. Next up, we have Highway Department business. And we have Trent. How are you doing, sir?
Morning. Good.
Good morning.
15 minutes ahead of schedule.
Okay, well, don't say nothing now. Come on.
With an addition, huh?
With an addition that we remembered to do today. And get some projects on the go here?
So the highway department has two renewals for limited use permits with MnDOT. The first one is permit 3606-0013. This limited use permit includes the area for the Trunk Highway 11 bike trail going from International Falls out to Rainier. So it's on a 10-year basis. It was it wasn't renewed. It was ratified back in 2014 and is up for renewal. So yeah, the whole process is I come to the board, I request that the board renews this or I guess notifies myself that they would like to renew this. I send a letter to Dwayne Hill, and then they draft the LUP, send it back to us, and then myself and board chair would sign. So,
And that's for 10 years from International Falls to, say, Rainier.
Yeah.
And then, does that mean that we maintain that stretch and,
correct. We maintain the bike trail. MnDOT has no involvement in it.
Okay.
It likely won't go the entire 10 years. There's going to be some differences once the land port of entry gets put into play. That'll change the alignment a little bit. Could change ownership as well in some areas. And then I would anticipate when the second bridge project happens, hopefully that's within 10 years, then we can get rid of our bridge in that area, so that would fall off the LUP as well.
Right. And then maintaining, we basically plow it when we have time, is that correct? Is that how that works?
Correct. The city has been nice enough to do some plowing on it as well, out the second bridge, within the International Falls city limits. And then we plow it from Second Bridge to Rainier regularly.
Well, it's a good deal. I grew up with that bike trail, so yeah, it's kind of fun. Somewhere to ride your bicycle, not on the highway. So it's
It'd be nice if they could get it all the way up to the park, but there's a couple pretty big obstacles. Like hills.
Yeah. I mean, there is a designated bike trail that goes along Highway 11. Nice wide shoulders until you get past, what is it? Well, about to Tilson, and then it gets kind of narrow. And, yeah.
Are we late on this? This is not later than 90 days, or is that?
We have 90 days after. After it expires, we still have 90 days to renew.
Prior, not later than 90 days prior to expiration date, whatever. That's right. Whatever.
Yeah, they're not terribly strict with anything, so with the dates, anyways.
So for consideration is to renew limited use permit 3606-0013 with MNDOT. And we'll keep them separate, so I would accept the motion on the first one.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner McIntyre.
A second.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Thank you. Next one is, I'm going to assume, continuing on.
Yeah, so on both of these, I'll need a certified resolution as well to include with the letter. The second one is LUP 3606-0014. Again, this was executed in 2014 with the county acting as the sponsor for the International Voyagers Snowmobile Club. So this LUP it covers all the crossings and areas that the Snowmobile Club uses the right-of-way, MnDOT right-of-way. So that includes the crossing at County Road 20 going into Rainier, the crossing at County Road 23 going back onto the snowmobile trail. It includes where they run along Highway 11 east, what's it, from One Stop out to
the lake there.
Yeah, about to Bowman's Landing. And then also they crossed in between County Road 137 and 138 at a location up there. So that covers all those locations. And again, we are acting as sponsor for the Snowmobile Club. Spoke with Bruce Budrus with the Snowmobile Club. He says yes, they would like to continue that agreement with the county and the agreement with MnDOT.
That's a part of the grant and aid that they receive, I would assume.
I would assume.
Yeah. Right, wishes of the board.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach.
A second.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
You ever look at that door formation down there?
And motion carries.
The drainage issue?
Yes. Yeah, I'll talk to you after. Anything else?
Nope, that sounds good. Thank you, Trent.
Thanks. Anything on our dump trucks?
Nothing new. The one will be here mid-October. The other one is still in the factory, waiting on part.
A motor?
I don't know. They're not. Volvo isn't responding to NUS.
Oh.
So I posed the question to NUS here about 2 weeks ago. They sent a message to Volvo saying, "Hey, what's the status?" And Volvo hasn't responded yet.
I'm going to give a little project update on just quick, some of the stuff that's going on, if you wouldn't mind. I'm sorry.
Sure.
Should have had it up here while you were was gonna mention it, and I know there's lots of activity here now. We're kind of winding down a little bit here, it looks like.
Yeah, so, I'll just go off of memory here. 17th Street, they will be resuming paving this afternoon. Paving should be done by tomorrow at some point at the latest. And, we'll go through and do striping and everything. We'll assume middle of next week it should be striped.
Okay.
County Road 77 out by Happy Land. That is done with the exception of striping. Yeah, they shouldered, I think yesterday.
It should be done right now, because they only had, whatever, eighth of a mile left when I left this morning, so.
Yep. We've got County Road 76, that's a local option sales tax road, included in that contract with the previous two that I just mentioned. They did the stabilized full depth reclamation over the weekend, added our 2 inches of class 5 on top of that, so they will be paving that after 77. So likely tomorrow afternoon, maybe Thursday, should be done in about 2 days. So Friday, Saturday, that should be about complete. They'll shoulder after that and then stripe, of course. Crack sealing and mastic repair out on County Road 8, south end of 8. 22, the Little Fork, back way to get into Little Fork. And County Road 79, the Forsyth Road, that should be done. Crushing, we're crushing out at Happy Land now. We crushed in at Parson Pit. We got the quantity that we wanted. We were requesting a little bit more, but the material just wasn't good enough where we were at to be able to get additional quantity out there. So yeah, Happy Land. I've got them putting up some sand as well for winter sand, and it should be about a month out in Happy Land crushing the class 5.
I can't believe they got as much out on that Parson as, I was just out there last week, just 2 nice piles, and I'm looking around for this big hole that they took it out of. I mean, I seen where they taken it out, but I was surprised they got that much.
Yeah, they did some scratching around and were able to find some material, made gradation on everything as well, so that's good. Let's see, what other project? We got the roundabout. Roundabout, I would assume that they're going to be asking for a couple additional days with the weather that we had earlier in the summer. But end of next week we should be opened up. That's the feeling at the moment. And then of course turf establishment and stuff coming after that. County Road 134, that was another local option sales tax. That is a box culvert and grade raise. We're essentially complete with that. Turned out really nice. A bit more muck excavation than we expected, and a bit more common borrow needed for the project as well. Soils out there aren't real great, so we had a pretty significant overrun on both of those. And then the box culvert down in Silverdale on UT 383, that's complete as well. That went great. 6 days and they were done with it. So,
Wow.
But no traffic on the road whatsoever.
Yeah, makes it nice.
Yeah.
Well, it's quite a list.
It is. It is. This is one of the first years that we're going to be done in September with all of our projects, excluding crushing. Crushing will be the first one.
But that's all the paving and everything.
Yeah, that's really good.
I've been keeping track on 17th Street. They're doing a good job.
Yeah. Hopefully the final product will be nice. I mean, it'll be better than what was there before. That's for sure.
I'll guarantee it will.
Yeah, I see them doing the curb and kind of replacing curb and gutter here and there, and so
maybe you can go down without losing a front bumper.
Yep.
Oh, come on now.
Also, I
buy
believe
something that's got more clearance.
Yeah, or that.
I believe MnDOT will be well, yeah, MinDOT will be starting on the project west of town here in that slide area.
There's 2 D8s sitting there this morning, I see.
Yep, from my understanding, KGM got that project as well, so once they're done with the roundabout, they'll be moseying down that way.
Yeah. I don't know, they got cones up here and there along the road. They maybe should just keep on heading west with that rebuild. So I don't know.
Lots of other slide areas.
Oh, by the old school there, they got a number of cones there, and I tempted to stop and look over the edge there, but
I was wondering that too, because it
It must
doesn't
be
look
slow.
like it's tipping. I mean.
they've been
unless you-
repairing all the way along there. I don't know, and that must be a trouble spot there coming up or something. I don't know what, if the high water move things faster or whatever, this time, I suppose, wearing away the banks. Guys with all your high-powered boats and wakes and whatnot. I don't know. We let the bids on the black again yet?
Yeah, probably first part of October I'll advertise again. Yeah, all of our projects have went well. We're close to budget on everything. 134, like I said, we were significantly over on material, on clay and the muck excavation, but
Looks really good.
it does. I think, I hope all the residents are happy with the project, and it seemed like it when we were out there working on it, so. Yep.
Well, thank you for the update. Appreciate that.
Thanks.
Sorry to put you on the spot there.
No,
but
no, that's all right.
It's nice to see these getting done and getting close to the finish line, so.
Yeah.
Right. At this time, if there's no other business necessarily, we'll go into public comment. Yes, please.
There are a lot of bicycles in the lockup fenced area by law enforcement. If those can be legally returned to the kids and the families, that would be appreciated. Perhaps a note in the paper saying, you know, if there's some legal reason they can't be returned. But if they could identify, as a kid so many years ago on the edge of town, I just knew my bicycle was, you know, how important they were to my brothers and I. The other thing is, if the highway department is interested, I hope they'd be given first consideration for moving into the current law enforcement center. Their building is a nightmare. I understand they don't even have a bathroom upstairs, and you've got to go up those stairs to get there to the offices, and so that I think should be a consideration if they are interested. And that was it for me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
We have anyone else in person or online for public comment? All right, hearing no other public comment, we're going to get into the rest of our county business, which is going to be a closed session to consider strategy for labor negotiations as per statute, Minnesota Statute 13D.03. So we'll be closing the meeting, and the folks online will be reopening basically for the adjournment of the meeting.